I'm curious to hear from you what you think this whole situation that unfolded over the last several weeks tells you about the relationship between the government and private enterprise.
It tells me that they're still not collaborating effectively to stop cyber attacks, to deter them, or to respond to them. President Obama had said that he wasn't consulted about this, and yet Sony said they were asking the government for help. I think there's a patchwork of laws around this. There's not really a legal structure to allow them to talk in the ways that I think a lot of policymakers and now some in the business community who are afraid of hacks like this would like.
So who's telling the truth here, then?
I think they're both telling the truth. So President Obama says nobody asked him whether they should pull this film. I think that's true. At least that's what I hear from White House officials. Sony says they consulted the White House, and what we're hearing from administration officials is that the response to Sony's various questions, which did not include whether to pull the film, was basically to give them standard advice that they would give to companies, and then when they had to make public comments that Sony could read and decide what to do or what the government was urging them to do. But I think they felt like if they were answering a lot of Sony's direct questions about how to respond to this and how serious to take this threat, that they would be showing favoritism for a company and that it might be a difficult precedent to set for the future.
Now, John, the president said specifically that this is not an act of war. This is cyber vandalism. But then that drew rebukes from the Republican side, who said, look, this is warfare, cyber warfare. So what exactly is the difference here?
Well, I think the president's trying to draw a line and say that a destructive attack like this is different than espionage. And it's also different from war. This isn't a Pearl Harbor style attack. There's not fatalities involved here. And so I think they're trying to find a space where they can draw a line. The White House is trying to find a space to draw a line and say you can't do what North Korea has done here, which is this really disruptive attack, this destructive attack where you're destroying assets, and it deserves a response, but it's not the same kind of thing as dropping a bomb on another country.